Good evening.
Good evening, my name's Rajan.
And my name's Heidi Alford. And we're here for the live launch of PGWarriors.org, PGWarriors.TV, sorry, PGWarriors TV channel, which is a social media hub intended for trans people. A place where people can go to get support, support each other and get help, particularly while there's a delayed wait for access to services once you've been referred.
Yep, it's a safe space for trans people to basically converse, share each other's journeys. Each of us, each to our own, all had a completely whole life-changing journey. So it's good for us all to be able to discuss it. What's more better to be able to discuss with trans people? You know what I mean? We all understand where we're all coming from. Just a great space, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think, the NHS does a great job. The people in the NHS are fantastic, but there's always that delay while you're being referred. And things where there's no immediate access to counselling, that kind of thing. These are the kind of things where the community are really helpful. If you've got somebody to talk to, it's a really important thing through a very vulnerable time.
Well, Heidi's right. Today, we're going to be basically starting off with Stefan Zakaya, who's going to be performing his poem, I Am More Than a Trans Man. After that, we're then going to interview Stefan Zakaya as well. We've got calls coming in, we've got live chats, we've got games. There's so much more to come, so I hope that everybody is watching. We've also got the founder of Transgender, Romario, who we're going to be interviewing. Also, we're going to find out a bit more about this, and also, it's just fun and games.
Okay, so the floor is yours, Stefan.
Hi guys, my name is Stefan Zakaya, and I am a filmmaker / director / creative. I guess we all know what creative is, just an artistic soul really. And I want to start with my poem, I Am More Than Just a Trans Man. I am more than just a heartbeat. I am the vein that pumps blood around my body from my head all the way down to my feet. The anatomy of imagination created from a blank canvas. The analytics of a prototype. The mediocrity of being something I want to be and not conforming to normality. I am more than just a being. I am living, I am breathing to find my destiny. Accomplishing, aspiring to inspire in my specialized craft of creativity. I am more than what the world perceives me to be. A courageous soul, a blessing in disguise, a soldier underneath. I am more than black excellence. I am the remains of my history. My ancestors left a legacy, and my nationality tells a story. I embody the strength of the Black Panther family. Whilst embracing peace and serenity from Dr. King, I reap the seed that was sown from my brother Malcolm X. I water it with the power of knowledge, you see. I am more than just a number. I am the abundance of money. I am the happiness that outshines luxury. The gratitude in everything. A giver of opportunity and a receiver of success. Yours sincerely, individuality. I am more than my own worst enemy. I am the competition of my opponent, self. The victory of the defeated, self. My own black belt represents consistency and persistency in all that I give energy. I am more than just a trans man. I am the beauty of recreation. The definition of becoming the true me. The scar embedded in my skin only reveals a tiny insight to my vulnerability. Turn the page, new chapter written. Standing in the mirror, I see this vision, the vision of a transition into the man I've always been. A revolution marked 2015. I am more than what you can imagine. And this is my reality. Thank you.
Yeah, well done. That's really fun. So when you recite that piece, sort of how does it make you feel?
When I first wrote it, I felt basically writing is an outlet for my expression that I withheld inside all the time. Like sometimes I can't vocalize as much of what's going on in my head, so I put pen to paper or my thumbs to my phone and start tapping away. But every time I recite it, I just remember why I started this and when I started it and why I started it. And obviously this journey of transition is it's a very tough journey. And because I know within my heart, this is for me, my happiness. I'm gonna follow it to my destination, really. So it kind of like gives me the shivers sometimes. I'm just like, wow, this is an amazing journey. This is an amazing journey.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for a lot of us, we do try and do creative things to take our mind off things or to get those emotions of how we're feeling out.
Definitely.
I guess for some of us, it's music, it's playing instruments, or it's singing, or it's poetry. I have a friend who also likes to do poetry. Your poem is fantastic.
Thank you.
But I guess we all do these things like when we're in a bad place, just so we can try and zone out, just process what we're going through.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your inspiration for that particular piece, Stefan?
My inspiration?
Yeah.
My inspiration for that particular piece, to be honest, it's just life. Life inspires me in general anyway. Everything about life. I'm a sponge. I love soaking up knowledge. I like learning different cultures. I like learning different languages. I like learning about people as individuals. And I kind of see life from a different perspective anyway. So when I did come out as a trans guy, it was, in my heart, I was like, okay, then everyone's gonna judge me, I started getting scared, I feared a lot of things, and it was so overwhelming for me. And then when I finally came out, I understood that, I was literally my mind was just taking me to a place where it didn't need to be, because people aren't that judgmental today. Well, from what I've perceived.
Yeah, I think by and large, and certainly the people who've known me my entire life, they were accepting of it. I'd say, I personally didn't have any trouble. I don't know if you had any particular problems, but I think when you worry so much about what you're doing, and it's a big, deep, dark secret, and you're holding on to it, you can't sort of bear it anymore. And that moment when you finally come out, you start telling people. And I think quite often the worry of the thought of telling them is quite often worse than actually telling them.
Exactly. That's exactly. I worked myself up into this moment when realistically the outside world they're just like okay, that's your life, Look how you feel, you'd be happy. And ever since then, I've experienced a few people discriminated here and there, but they wouldn't really do to my face. It's not behind my back. But then because I know who I am deep down, I'm not going to allow it to affect me in any sort of way.
So you are newly transitioned. How would you say that transition's going?
Amazing. It's an amazing journey. Like, it really is. I'm actually loving every single moment of it. The ups, the downs, the mediums. I'm loving everything because I feel like I'm truly getting to know who I really am.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's such a great feeling. Such a great feeling.
Yes, it is. You really feel that you've come from this dark place. You didn't realise how low you were.
Exactly.
And then you transitioned. You told everybody. You've gone through this big thing of telling everybody, and then you've come out and you start living your life in your preferred gender. And then suddenly, just a few weeks down, you're just walking down the street, and you're kind of like this. It's a whole new. It's like euphoria. Isn't it? It's kind of like I didn't realise how unhappy I was.
And that's exactly how I felt. And it's great, man. It's great.
In terms of transition, though, have you had any difficulties? Have you faced any difficulties at all? Anything you can think of at the top of your head right now?
Yes, I have, and this is probably quite generic for quite a lot of other trans people. Since officially beginning hormones, I've faced social dysphoria, And to break down social dysphoria, for those who don't know, it's when you don't feel comfortable about a certain thing that you do or the certain way you act, you know, in a crowd of people. And I have voice dysphoria, so I feel like sometimes I'm speaking really high in a crowd of people, so I kind of tend to shut down a little bit or not say much, or I then focus a bit too much on my voice to try and deepen it, you know, to get that masculine tone. When I feel like I'm going high pitched, I'm like, no, bring it down, and then I get, you know, really, I'm there, my mind's going on like 100,
about nothing.
how is people perceiving my voice, or how am I acting, or am I being a bit camp, or, you know, what?
Yes, you become acutely aware of it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, and if I go into a restaurant, and normally people aren't looking at you directly, and they don't necessarily clock immediately. But then, of course, when you start talking, they do. And I had this thing as well, where I start off in a bit of a high-pitched voice, and then realise I'm being artificial about it. And, you know, and you do sort of end up second-guessing yourself.
Exactly. And
You do.
I mean, I think that's one of them. Yeah, just the social dysphoria.
Yes.
In regards to anything else, like, not really, no. Not really. And that's honest. That is honest.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, did anything come as a surprise, pleasant or otherwise, or?
Yes. I'm not sure if I should mention it on here. If I'm allowed to, director. Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
The thing that came as a surprise was my genitalia area. That was like, wow! Like, I didn't think for a second that it's kind of. No, I thought for a second that it's gonna grow, but not to the point. You know, not to the size that it's grown right now. So that's been a shock. But I'm adjusting to it. Is, you know, I'm enjoying that.
How do you feel about having trans social help available to the trans community as a whole?
Oh, you know what, we needed it. We actually needed it because, I mean, there's groups. There are groups on Facebook. There's Facebook groups. There's Instagram posts and everything.
It's all very disjointed, isn't it?
It is. So to bring all the trans community into one, I think it's a fabulous and great idea.
I mean, did you find that you know? I mean, for me, I mean, I've already touched on this, but you know, it's that moment where you've been to your GP, and you've been referred, and they said, well, I had no argument at all for my GP, and they refer you, and then it's waiting, isn't it? And it's the actually finding the right people to talk to. Did you already have, you know, a group of people you could talk to socially, or you know, how did you find the support you needed?
Research, the internet, Google is a very handy place. I never actually spoke to anyone as much about it. It was just constant thoughts in my head. So at the time where I was going for my appointments, I already had came out. Before that, I had years of just like battling with myself in my head, not being able to talk to people because of the way I feel they would perceive me, which is obviously judging me, you know, etc., etc.
There's a huge stigma around it. Yes.
So I can't really say to myself there was much help from the trans community, or probably I never went to seek it. But when I did become a bit more involved, I found some local hubs on Facebook that I joined, and you know, it was like-minded people on that group, so that helped me a lot to progress around my appointments.
Good. So we know you're a rather capable poet. Do you have any other sort of outlets of expression?
Yes, I mean, I like storytelling. I like listening to people tell their background stories. And when I listen to background stories, I always picture it in a movie format. And then when I picture it in a movie format, I think, you know, that's a good idea. Let me actually write a script. And then I'll bring it to life. Well, that's from obviously listening to other people tell me their stories. So it's more like an outlet for me, allowing them to express, you know, their feelings through visual format.
Yeah. Is there anything that we don't know about you? Like, is there anything you can tell us about you right now? Something that we don't know?
Something that you don't know.
Anything off the top of your head right now?
I'm a Wolverhamptoner. I'm from Wolverhampton.
That's something you didn't know about Stefan Zakaya.
Yeah, I'm from Wolverhampton too.
Wolves.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one's a bit left field. Make a sound that describes this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Steph.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Right. Thank you very much, Stefan. Well, I think we're going to do some social media reads now.
Yes, we are.
Or maybe we're not going to do some social media reads. Okay. Well,
So,
I guess
we'll carry on talking. Yeah.
How about the trans social hub then?
Yeah.
I think we've already mentioned about the delay in the wait for services, but I think what is very important is that no matter how much your existing friends rally around you, you'll still largely go through this alone.
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
you?
Yeah.
And you really do need as much help and advice as you possibly can from people who know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that this social club is really good at.
Yeah.
I was personally so lucky that living in Wolverhampton, there was the Trans Matters group that helped me. There were people that I could talk to, and I almost stumbled into them by accident. But I think knowing that there was a place like this that I could go to was a fantastic thing, because it's as much as you've got your friends around you in many ways as well. That kind of it's a bit of a stressor as well, isn't it? Because you know they're struggling to work through. The fact that suddenly you're hiding now and all the rest of it, and they're so worried themselves that they're going to get it all wrong.
Exactly. And I genuinely believe it's more us. Over the years, I've tried to forget about anybody else. It's literally all me. I don't want to be caught up in other people's opinions, what other people think. And I think that's what helped me a lot with my transition, to be honest with you. I'd say mine went very smoothly in comparison to a lot of people. And this is why I made myself available. I'd say emotionally available, because a lot of trans people, it's a very difficult time for them, and I feel like I could emotionally make myself available for them, offer them, all the advice I possibly can, and without triggering them as well, because it's so hard to say the correct things all the time. Do you know what I mean? You slip up and it's like, oh, what did I do? But unfortunately, it's such a life, and thicker skin is grown when you learn that this is the cards you can deal. Make use of those cards, and that's what I've done basically. Do you know what I mean? So when it's working out for me. Good. Yeah, good. This thing's been great.
Okay.
So we did actually have a social media read. Social media read. Okay. How about the caller interview section? If you bear with us for literally 2 minutes, we'll get the calls up, and then we'll continue from then, and we'll interview the callers.
Okay. All right then. So PGWarriors.org is the website.
Yep.
Which is where you'll find the social hub, and then you've got PGWarriors.TV, which is it's this. If you're already here, then you know where it is, and hopefully this will go from strength to strength, and this is the start of something big. Hashtag PGWarriors.TV.
Yes, that's right. It's hashtag PGWarriors.TV.
That's right. Okay. So we're struggling a little bit, I think, with caller interviews and social media reach at the moment.
Technical glitch.
Technical glitch. Yeah, it is live.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, tell me a little bit about yourself, because we've actually we met only slightly earlier, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. So, tell me about yourself. Do you do any poetry or reading or?
You know, as much as I would like to say, I'd say I'm on the rap side. Like I do a lot of rap, which can be turned into poetry, but it's very much freestyle. And please don't ask me to do a freestyle right now.
I've been putting you on the spot.
Yes. But I normally do freestyles. But yeah, apart from that, you know, I'm a model, I'm a dancer. Yeah. So I do a lot. I'd say I'm one of the first trans models within my area, most definitely. If I didn't mention before, I am from Manchester, and it's hard to mention. But yeah, so it's been great. I mean, but enough about me anyway. I'm my modeling. We're gonna go on to the call right now, and we're gonna interview them. So have we got a caller?
Hello, caller.
Hi.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, it's Megan.
Oh, hi.
I'm phoning up for part of an interview tonight.
Yes. Megan, may I ask you a question then about self-love?
Yeah, sure.
Right. How does one teach themselves to love themselves?
Well, I think it takes a long time. That's the first thing that I'd say. From my own experience, I'm obviously a transgender woman.
Yeah.
And when I was diagnosed as transgender when I was 18, it was the worst thing that anyone could have told me, because it was the mid-90s and no one knew any trans people. And it was really bad, you know, I didn't want to be trans. So I certainly didn't love myself. And I'd probably say that I hated myself. So it took me about probably 20 years to come to terms with the fact that I was trans. And that process of learning to love oneself was actually a gradual process. So I didn't one day hate myself and then love myself 20 years later. It was a gradual process. And for myself, just speaking for me, because I can only speak for me, that involved counselling, looking after my body, stopping destructive behaviours like drinking and smoking and eating junk food. So it was about looking after myself and giving myself the chance to grow and come to terms with who I am. And that's what I did.
That sounds brilliant. Can I ask you one more question, Megan?
Of course.
What would you say prevents self-love?
What prevents self-love?
Yeah, what prevents it? Like, is there anything that's ever happened in your life that you think could have like prevented you from loving yourself any more than you already do?
Yeah, definitely. I think, to be honest with you, we don't live in isolation, any of us. We don't live on a planet all on our own.
Okay.
So for me, the major influence from the environment that I live in and that I work in, and all the relationships with friends, family, colleagues, what the media tell me, so other people's perceptions really. Of course, I did have low self-esteem, and I needed to work on that myself. But the really important thing to remember is that when you're trying to do that, you're also matching with what society tells you should be.
Exactly.
So as I'm a bit older now, I think age helps as well.
It does.
Perspective, and I'm not interested in what other people think of me. And because I'm not interested in what other people think, that means it's a lot easier to love myself. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes perfect sense, Megan. You know, thank you very much, Megan. I completely agree with everything you said. You know, it's I 1000% agree with you, and I'm very happy that you can now love yourself. This is what is breaking down in the trans community more and more every day. It's people aren't loving themselves as much as they need to, and it makes me very happy to hear somebody, especially a trans woman, who can say that she loves herself and means it as well. Do you know what I mean? Thank you very much, Megan. Can I also Xavier, you on the call as well? Hiya, Xavier. You good? You alright?
Yeah.
Great, I'm perfect, thank you. Also wanted to ask you the same question I just asked Megan. It's about self-love.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with a lot of what Megan was saying.
Brilliant.
It's definitely a long process. And it's just, again, you're kind of putting yourself up against like what society thinks about you and what's expected of you, and then you have to. I was pretty much spending a lot of my teenage years trying to think that mold and trying to please everybody. And at the end of the day, I was just kind of forgetting about what made me happy. I was more scared of what other people thought, and I didn't want to disappoint my family, friends, and I was scared of, just breaking all of the relationships.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it got to a point where I was getting ill and I wasn't happy. And it was breaking me down. It was affecting work, it was affecting relationships, friendships, work. And as soon as I pretty much let go and just kind of put myself first, life just got a lot better.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. What would you say prevents self-love then? Do you have a different opinion from Megan on that one, or is it the similar opinion?
Yeah, it's similar. Like I say, it was just kind of the fear of disappointing people.
Okay.
And just that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Megan, and thank you very much, Xavier. Heidi, anything to that?
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think personally for myself as well, is that there's a lot of stigma around these things that yourself, you feel you can't talk to people about these things.
Yeah.
And I think you do hate yourself. You're looking in the mirror sort of every day, and you're really not liking what you see. And every time you open your mouth, and in everything you do, you're constantly judging yourself.
Yeah.
So I think but that's not necessarily restricted to the trans community, obviously. I think it is an important part of our treatment that we learn to love each other. So to love ourselves. So I thoroughly agree with the sentiment that the people that we are. It's very important that we learn to love ourselves, and that this really is the path that we need to take.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, even when it comes to me, it's taken a while, literally, to be able to self-love myself. Yeah, love myself. It really has. People do knock you down. That's what I think. That's sometimes what people are here for. Literally, to give you that. You have to just get back up, just like that. It's as simple as that, really. It's easier said than done, but obviously, had to motivate myself mentally, make sure that I was prepared for what I was getting myself into it, do it, and accomplish it. Not play complaining. Never is.
So,
okay, sorry, slight glitch. Megan, Xavier, Bob still there?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for still being there. This question is about employment. So, when it comes to being trans and employment, how's it been for you both? I'm going to start with Xavier. How's it been for you, Xavier, when it comes to employment? And what do you work as well?
I was lucky enough to have a very supportive relationship with work. I first told my area manager, and it was the first situation, first time she was in that situation, and to say that it was the first time she was in that situation, and she was very helpful, she was very careful of what she said and how she addressed me. She made me feel really comfortable. And this was during the welfare visit, she came to my house, and I just felt really safe, and she made me feel really safe, and that everything was going to be okay. And then from there, she would give me away just to make sure everything's all right. And to be honest, because that was the first time going to work as, I guess, myself, I was really scared, obviously. Scared of my past, scared about my voice, I'm involved in security. I work as a receptionist in the front desk.
Okay.
So with meeting and greeting, it was really stressful. It was, nerve-wracking and stuff. Luckily, I didn't get any kind of trouble. It was like a dream come true, to be honest. I had to work with the HR department, they were very supportive, and it's just pretty much making sure that you've got a good support system, making sure
Yes, yeah.
you know words and everything is on top of what they should. And honestly, I know some other people may not have as good as you know a good kind of reaction to being trans. But at the end of the day, everyone's got their rights, and you just have to make sure everything, you know your rights, and make sure you're not treated bad because of who you are. And yeah, just make sure you have a good support system. And
Perfect, perfect.
So, I mean, how long did you have to, from the moment of actually telling HR, how long did the process actually take of you sort of coming out at work? How was the process handled?
Well, like I said, I was kind of getting myself nervous, thinking that I would have to pretty much declare myself as, oh, I am the trans person at work. I didn't want to be that person, the trans person at work kind of thing. So it's kind of this weird situation where some people in HR don't, in fact, know about my situation. And the person that I actually talked to in HR, she knows, and she's very careful, and she's like, well, would you want me to have a word with the rest of the guys in HR and stuff? And she, in the end of the day, I feel safe, and I don't feel like I have to kind of, go into the office and be like, look, I'm trans. Like, I haven't had any situation where I've had to kind of do that. Luckily, everyone's been really accepting, the right pronouns, the correct name, whether they know about if I'm trans or not, or just read me as a male. It's really that feeling that I can't explain. It's just amazing.
Undescribable feeling, Xavier, yeah? Is that what it is?
Sorry?
Undescribable, basically.
So I just break up a bit now.
Don't worry. Megan, you there as well?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I was listening to that. It's all really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it was a great experience. I mean, I do a lot of work with the trans community about employment.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you briefly about my own journey, but it's the general point that are really important that I want listeners to understand. I mean, about my journey, I'm a civil servant. I've worked in the civil service for 10 years. And I came out as trans 7 years into my employment in a workforce of 2,000 people, a lot of them who knew me. And I was the only trans person at the time, I was certainly the only person to transition on the job. And that was 3 or 4 years ago, and it went extremely well. I was the guinea pig really for my service, so they let me lead the process. And it went smoothly. I got time off for appointments. I didn't need any sick leave. I didn't have any anxiety. The process took about 2 years from when I first told them to when I stepped back at work as a person that I've always been. And since then, I'm a manager. I've got a regional job in the civil service across the Midlands. And I'm just the only trans person, but I was finalist in a national award recently.
Okay.
And so my experience shows how this can be done. So that's a bit about me, but what I really want to get across to people who are listening is that there's a really simple way to transition at work, and employers have a legal obligation to allow you to do that with the Equality Act 2010 as a protected characteristic of gender reassignment. It's not difficult. There is loads of advice out there for employers, whether they're a small employer with 5 staff or a multinational employer. If employers and trans people who are worried about coming out can join the Facebook group Trans Workers UK, and that's Trans Workers UK, and that is a Facebook group that I helped co-create for on Twitter as well, at Trans Workers UK. And I created that with some other trans people who work in different sectors in the different industries who are part of trade unions like I am. And we offer free help to employers, HR managers, to trans people as well. to assist with the transitioning process. And if you haven't transitioned at work, you go to a new employer and you get any grief after, you can come to us and talk to us for free, and we'll tell you what your rights are. I'm an equality manager in my day job, so I know the law. And as I said, having been a success in my own work, I'm out of Irish trans, I'm not myself. So I'm an example to employers about what can be achieved. So if anyone has any issues, do get in touch on the Facebook group. There's loads of advice, over 500 members. There's some bad experiences and some excellent experiences. So yeah, please get on board.
Thank you very much, Megan.
So I'm a in trans workers myself, and it is a very, very useful resource. So,
brilliant.
You know, if you're thinking of coming out or you're having issues at work surrounding your transition, it's certainly a very good place to go. Okay.
Thank you very much, Megan and Xavier.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. No problem. Have a nice day, Bob.
Yeah, bye then. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Right, so I believe we have some social media reads we can go through now.
Bear with us, please.
Okay, 1 moment. Okay, so right, so from Sam Baby Gill, she says she just wants to commend Romario on starting this channel, and yes, absolutely, I think it's very commendable what he's doing. All right, do you want to read the next one?
Yeah, sure. Right. Where's the next one? Do you have any resources for us?
Do we have any resources for us? Well, I say there is the website, and of course there is Facebook as well. So PGWarriors.TV, or as the sign up there says, PureGender.org is where you need to go. Okay. So we also have a message from Cookie Monster, who says we're looking forward to seeing where you take this. Well, thank you very much, and hopefully you'll be part of that too, as it is a social hub. So hopefully you'll be contributing, and I think we all need to contribute.
That's at hashtag PG.org.
Hashtag PG, yes, hashtag PGWarriors.TV.
Hashtag PGWarriors.TV.
Or PureGender.org.
PureGender.org.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Is this the time of the evening I've been dreading coming up now? We may have some photos, or it might be the moment I've been dreading. It's the game. Oh, great, it's the game. Right. Okay, so we take a sheet of paper each, do we? Yes. Is that what we do? Okay. Right. Do you know who yours is?
I know who mine is.
No.
No. Actually, I just about know who mine is.
Okay. Do you want to go first then? We do have cue cards available just in case I haven't got a clue who this was.
Okay. Orange is the new black.
Oh dear. I don't watch that show. Yeah, Jane. Jane, someone? No.
No.
It's a good job my phone's here. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Someone who's very active in the LGBT community, and they are a famous child of a singing duo.
What's Cher's son's name?
Oh, it's not what I've got on the card.
No.
Exactly.
Oh, Caitlyn Jenner. No, actually no, because
I've steered you wrong there. I just need you to be precise. Yeah. You might not have been completely off track with the share thing. Yeah, but I do need a name.
Oh my goodness, I forgot his name.
Do you remember Cher's partner?
No, I have no idea about Cher's partner.
Yeah, they were a singing duo, weren't they? So they were Cher and
Care?
it was Cher and Sonny, wasn't it?
Cher and Sonny, yes.
Sonny and Sonny's surname was
Lloyd. I have no idea.
This is going really well. Okay, all right. So I've got absolutely no chance of guessing what it is. So maybe you can turn this into a game of charades or something. Maybe. Yeah.
If I knew the person, African American.
Yeah, I know exactly who. I know we're talking about the trans actress in the Orange is the New Black. I know we are, unfortunately. I do not know her name. Is that close enough?
I don't think it is.
No, if I wasn't going to let you off this one, I guess you're not going to let me off that one, are you?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well,
I might as well just show you because.
oh, okay. I'm never going to guess it.
No.
But I was going to give you a few more clues. But
A few more clues?
yeah. No, you can give it away if you want to. No, of course it was.
Laverne Cox.
Laverne Cox. No, you said I knew that. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
Laverne Cox.
Okay, and yours was.
Chaz Bono, see, I knew it.
Bono. See, I was trying to give you.
Oh,
I
gosh.
was trying to
I
give
knew
you a
it.
clue with the Sonny Bono. Yeah, I thought you'd get it if I did that, but
I'm unhappy now.
oh dear.
I'm feeling.
Oh dear. Well, that was a scary game.
It was an impossible one, yeah?
Yes. Very frightening.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Okie dokie. Now we're going to talk about featured photos.
Right. Okay, we're going to go straight to the interview with the founder. Who is going to tell us all about what he's trying to achieve here. He's very excited about it, and I'm sure he's got lots to say. So if we could welcome Mario.
Thank you.
Here we are.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us, what is PureGender.org all about?
PureGender.org has been in the making for the past 3 years.
Wow.
It was always the vision with the Pure Gender brand. Like, let's start with the Pure Gender brand. It's always the vision to have a brand that other people from the trans community could look at and see it as a brand which encourages themselves, encourages them to be them, and hence the hashtag be your own you.
Yeah.
Now, I always envisioned a community-based network where other trans people were talking to each other and communicating, and so PureGender.org is essentially the building block towards that end goal, that end vision of having a brand where people can look to hope. And it really, what inspired me to start the company was, like a moment of weakness, as we may say. Like, I was feeling really down and out about transitioning.
Yeah.
The medical system it is supportive,
It is
but
absolutely.
it cannot manage if things don't fit within certain lines.
Yes, and I think that there are necessarily delays in the process. Unfortunately, you have a lot of good people trying very hard for us.
Yeah.
But the delays that are there in the system, you just can't get around. There are just too many people.
Too many people, and sometimes that delay may seem minuscule to some, like, oh, you're just waiting for a letter, but to us it can mean a great deal. Like, there's a ticking clock always going off in our head.
Absolutely.
So it was during that moment of feeling like I was essentially failed via the system.
Yeah.
That I felt like, you know what, once I got over that hump and finally had my hormones in transition, I realized I was really lucky.
Yeah.
Because I survived that moment where I could have done anything, and here I was.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create a brand where, for those who may be sitting in their room right now and watching this broadcast and probably think, you know what, if they're confident enough to go on camera and be vain like you, as beautiful as you, Heidi, then, you know, hopefully that brings hope. And that's what PGWarriors is about. It's about creating that connection between everybody to create some sense of hope, so that when they do feel down, there is somebody out there that they can connect with to say, well,
that's it. I mean, there are, you know, at the beginning of the process, and certainly at certain ways along the process, we're very vulnerable, aren't we? You know, so I think but I think it's a really, really important thing that you're doing here.
Thank you.
And you know, certainly it's things like this that have helped me along, and I think helped, you know, everybody else along as well. And I think to have a focus for that is nothing but a good idea. So everybody, the more the visibility of it's raised, the better.
I was informed for you to start this particular part of the business now.
Now, I got some support from the Princess Trust.
Yeah.
I got some support from the Princess Trust, and they helped me a lot in terms of my focus.
Yeah.
So I was testing the company for the past 2 years already, and that was just through soft testing and had the retail operation. When I got aligned with my mentor, he really challenged me and he asked me, like, you know, well, you have all these ideas, you know, so I wanted to do the social hub, I wanted to do so many different things, and he just asked me to pick one and said, you know, what do you want to do now? And I chose the social hub because it was the part that I felt the most excited to release, because I have a feeling that that's the part that's going to have the most impact on people. Like, I understand having the retail side and creating some income in order to be able to help the community. But I feel like the social hub aspect was one of the most important elements, and the part that was really close to my heart. I felt like I really wanted to have the trans community I wanted them to have a voice, in a sense. And this is what the social hub is about. It's about having a voice to create, contribute, and also there's that employment issue as well within the trans community, and I really want to give opportunities to a lot of trans people as well. Whether it's legal or not, I'm not sure. I don't know, but that is the vision, and that's exactly what I want to do.
Certainly somewhere with a big light.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, as the founder and the CEO of this business, what's the hardest decision that you've had to make so far?
The hardest decision I've had to make was actually keeping the company open. There was a moment in time where I was so far along transitioning, I could just assimilate with everybody, with the crowd, and it would have been no problem. I think one of the major issues for some trans people is that you tend to, there's this passing thing, you want to pass all the time. And when you get to that level of pass, then there's like, you want to be stealth. And having this company opening meant that my opportunity to be quote-unquote stealth wouldn't really be possible, because at some point, especially in this digital age, at some point, it would get found out.
Yeah.
So I had to really meditate on that and resolve and try to understand, well, why did I start a company in the first place? And what would be the benefit of keeping it open, as well as I had to mentally prepare myself for anything that was going to come from the media. You know how they can be. Sometimes it's headlines to sell the article more than anything. But I had to prepare myself mentally for anything that was going to come my way, whether it be positive or negative. So that was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, which was, ultimately a self-sacrifice actually, in order to carry out the vision that I felt like, you know, a lot of people would do with hearing. So I did meditate on it. I'm here today. I'm mentally prepared. So I'm ready for anyone who has a clever headline. I am ready. Well prepared.
So
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think to a lot of us, I mean, some people actually they get sort of so far along the transition, don't they? They're actually not bothered about passing it off, but we're all kind of different about it. And the going self thing really is kind of like, it's not that you're trying to hide it from everyone, it's just you don't want it to be an issue. You don't want it to be discussed. You know, it's not just about, you know, passing is about walking down the street and not being stared at. In a friendly way. I mean, I get that. Getting shouted at, that's really unpleasant. You know, it's like, you know, we're vulnerable, don't do that. It's not nice.
Yeah.
You know, but whereas going stealth is basically, I just don't want to talk about it. It's an issue. I don't want to disclose that information. It's a part of my past. It's something that I've left behind. So it's a big issue.
I think we got a call.
We got a call online.
Technical issues.
So, quick question while waiting, or? Yeah. No.
Okay. So I think you're on air. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. I'm nervous though. I just want to say I think it's really good that there is something like this available for the trans community, because me myself, I'm with a transgender male, and I think that it's good to have the support out there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have someone here as well who would like to say hi and talk on the air. I'm a bit nervous.
You sound Jamaican. Can you hear the Jamaican accent coming out? Hello.
Hi. Yeah. Also, I'm dating a transgender male. I just wanted to say thank you. We need more people talking about the trans community positively, and it's nice to see that it's something that's going to be out there, it's going to be relatable.
As a spouse of someone from the trans community, what would you like to see? Like, what would you think would be the greatest thing to come from something like this? Social help.
I think support, awareness, just kind of giving people in the trans community more confidence to be able to speak out about their transition, to feel positive and know that they're not alone in what they're feeling and what they're thinking, and to know that there's other people out there that can, they can kind of discuss with them what they're going through without feeling fearful or being ashamed or embarrassed. I mean, when you're dating somebody, that's a journey in itself. I think being able to go for a journey, not knowing where you are, you know, the things that you're going through alone. I think it's quite difficult to having something like this. It's kind of continually reminding them that you're not by yourself. There's other people that understand what you're going through and kind of share stories and kind of visual changes as well. Like being able to see, if you're at the earlier stages of your transition, seeing somebody who's actually gone through the whole process and where they're at now and their perspective on life and just generally getting a feel that there's somebody more tangible that they can actually relate to.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a good answer. I like that. What about the other caller? What do you?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, I'm here.
So I know you say you're nervous. Do you find that you yourself as a partner of a trans person do need support?
I think not really, probably for myself. Actually, yes. For me to understand my guy a lot would be really, really good. And I think it's important that through services like yourself, he can develop a
him, and he feels that yes, you know, I have that self-love that you guys were talking about earlier. I'm ready now, and I think you'll be good to function in the relationship then, because when you have established that sense of self, then you have more to offer to your partner. So I guess in that sense, yes. So do you have any services that are available for partners, and or do you see something in the future?
I assume that's my question. You know, the primary focus was on the immediate trans community, and it still is at the moment. There are little ideas in conception mode for support for partners and family members, especially, because I think one aspect that a lot of trans people tend to have issues with sometimes is family, because it's like you can have that disconnection and things like that. So it's definitely worth in the future. What I would like is for people who support trans people who are not trans themselves to come forward and help to shape that aspect of it, because essentially this would be the best case scenario. Like, you have the trans feminine people coming forward and helping to shape that aspect, and then you got the trans masculine, and then you got the family. You know, I think because only them themselves know firsthand experience as to like, what is it like to really hear your son come to you and go, I'm trans. Like, we understand as a son coming forward and saying that, but what does it feel like on the other side? And I don't think a mom or a dad, only them alone can really give us that raw emotion and feeling, and only then can we start to build those support, because we don't want to create a brand that's just there to tick boxes. We want to create a brand that actually has impact and creates change. So if you do have any feedback or you want to get involved, then you can email contact@PureGender.com and get involved and help to shape the social hub, actually. I hope that answers your question.
It does, but I sort of have a follow-up as well. So I know that you've launched PGWarriors.org.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be a massive social hub with creativity and conversation. Do you have advice or space to sort of facilitate that growth with self-love and you know, talking about sex and relationship, so that strength for the trans community can be established, so then the relationship can flourish and other areas like family and friends can flourish as well.
Yes.
Do you have that available on the site?
Yes, there is. If you go onto the PureGender.org site right now, it's actually live. And on there you'll find the forums, which is a selected amount of forums at the moment. And again, as people contribute more and ask for what they want, it will be created. It is user driven. And there's also chat rooms as well. So you're instantly talking to people if there are people on the site. So if you are a family, if you're having issues with family or even sexual stuff, like sometimes that is quite a taboo. Like, you know, sometimes no one wants to talk about that and touch that subject.
I agree.
So you do.
I mean, sex is important. Well, to a lot of people. And I think, I don't know, to have a space where people can come and just know that it's just the way that they enjoy themselves and the way they enjoy their partners, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's less of anyone that you want to be. So it's just, again, just strengthening that need to be yourself.
Definitely. Thank you for the input. Like, that is the vision, and it only can work by having people such as yourself getting involved and contributing and letting us know what we need to do to support you more. So thank you very much for your call.
Thank you.
I think we lost. Thank you very much. That was some tough questions there.
Seriously.
It was, but I think it raises good points, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In that you know, it's your family are going to find it quite tough, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that you know, they also require support. So you know, I think that's a good point. So more questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
I did have one. Right, so in terms of challenges, any challenges, like especially from the start of your transition, I would say, did you face any challenges?
My own personal transition. I faced quite a few. Like the main challenge for me was, I believe it was more social, because I already had a disconnect with family. I wasn't speaking to any family, which I do speak to family now, so it has improved. But social transitioning was an eye opener for me. It's like going around with a group of guys, for example, you get to find, whoa, they ain't so tough after all. You know, I'll go in, I remember this moment where I went into the locker room and I was around the guys and I'm thinking, this is going to be a manly spot. Yeah. And I walk in and there's 3 guys surrounding each other with spray bottles of fragrance and they're spraying it and sniffing each other's neck. And I found that hilarious because I was like, well, it's not what you expect.
No,
it's not.
It's not what you expect, but I've come to realize that actually guys are quite gentle around each other. Very gentle creatures. Like Heidi's looking at me like, oh, I don't know.
like yes, they can.
Yeah, but when they get around the people that, for example, maybe when it comes to mating or sexual preferences or whatever, like I think that's when the whole alphaism comes out, and it's like,
all the bravado.
Yeah, it's like
standard photo.
Exactly, it's like who's mad and stuff like that, and you do little party tricks and things like that. So my challenge was getting into what it meant to be a man and a male and navigating that in society, and that was one of my biggest challenges. But eventually I came to realize that there weren't no rules to it. It was just about just being yourself, be comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing.
And actually reaching that point is a bit of a revelation in itself.
Yeah.
Because you can't quite find yourself, I'm transitioning, I'm going to be the person I want to be, and then actually you suddenly find yourself doing another act.
I know.
And you reach a certain point where you think, oh no, actually I just need to be myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this thing. So top 3 things people should know about transitioning.
The top 3 things. So the first one I would say is know thyself.
Mm-hmm.
Know thyself, because when you're transitioning, there is that tendency to focus on transitioning.
Mm.
And then when you get to the end of the road, wherever that end of the road is for you, you don't know yourself. You don't know what you like to do, you don't know your favorite color, and it sounds silly, you might laugh, but it's true. Like a lot of people get so focused and sucked into getting either the hormones or the surgery, whatever they feel like they need to get. Yeah. But then once they get it, they've spent so much time chasing that they find that maybe 2 years of their life have elapsed, and they haven't actually done anything else. Mm-hmm. So now you got to face all these demons, and that in itself can lead you into another form of depression. So that would be my first advice: know thyself.
Yeah.
The second advice I'd like to give is to have a look around the people that you surround yourself with. That's very, very important. You need people around you who are going to support you in your journey. They're going to be there when you're getting all hormonal, because it's like going through another puberty. You're going to need people around you. You're going to support you when you want to cry, when you want to laugh, when you want to fight. And you need people around to tell you that you look great, you look beautiful, and just to help boost your self-esteem. And it does make a massive difference when those dark moments come along and maybe you're scared, or maybe you feel like everyone's staring at you. Because sometimes you go on the road, no one even notices you, but you think the entire world is looking at you. So I'd say definitely surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely.
And then I think the third tip I'd give is, let's see. Just be crazy. Yes, just be crazy. Okay. My motto is crazy people live longer. Just be crazy. Be as crazy as you want to be.
We have another caller on the line. caller on line 1.
Oh, wow. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Wow, I heard you got a question.
Say that again, sorry.
Heard you got a question.
Yeah, I've just got a particular question,
Yeah.
obviously for the trans community. I just wanted to find out, how would you guys go about talking to, potential partners, about your transition, basically?
Wow.
That is a tough one, isn't it?
That's that kind of question where you try to understand it and then it like leaves your head again.
How would you talk to your potential partner about you wanting to transition?
I sit her down and say, baby, we need to talk, man. I is a man, and today we gonna change things around her. That is that.
Andy, what do you think?
Well, in my case, I met my partner at a support group, so we kind of knew about each other right from the outset. But I've got to admit it's a tricky question, and until we met each other, I pretty much decided it was too hard an issue for me to be thinking about. At this time, I really thought, quite honestly, on your worst days, which we were talking about before, you're sort of thinking, that's it, I might as well just buy a lot of cats. Yeah, because I'm going to be a crazy cat lady. That is the way I felt until I met my current partner at the support group. Then it never even crossed my mind. It was too difficult an issue to tackle. But hopefully this is the sort of thing that people can talk about.
Yeah,
definitely. And get it clear, because obviously there needs to be a big dollop of honesty, isn't there? And, has to be. But you have to have people love each other for the kind of people they are. Judge people on the way they are, what they do, the way they act. You know
what? I think when it comes down to it, this is a common theme within the trans community. Like you transition, you question yourself before you transition, then you transition, you question even more. Then when it comes to love, because everyone wants love at some point, the question then becomes, who's gonna love me? You start to feel somewhat like just inanimate in a sense. You don't feel so much human. You feel inanimate, like almost like a piece of cloth in the market. You're like, well, you have these passerbys, but who's interested in you? I've been on the shelf for a while, collecting dust, might as well expire, But the reality of it is that someone does love you, someone is waiting to meet you, and what it boils down to is you just finding that inner confidence. And that's what it means to be your own you, to find your inner confidence to come out. Because when you're glowing, people want to be around that. And it's that aura. So when people see your aura, the studio's going crazy right now. Yeah. So when people meet that and they feel that aura of you, they won't care. They'll be like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I want to talk to that person.
confidence shows, doesn't it? I think it does.
Yeah, and it's more than confidence. It's that comfort. Yeah, I think that's the key word there. It's comfort in yourself. It's waking up, going out there knowing I'm a different kind of me, and I'm going out there and I'm comfortable with that. And if you see somebody, go talk to them. You just never know. You just never know. You know what I mean? So I hope that answers your questions. I didn't even get your name. What's your name?
My name is Zayna.
Oh, Zayna, hello. Yeah.
Do you think about celebrity icons such as, I don't remember the person's name, is it Caitlyn now? Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, do you think, those kind of, celebrities that are coming out and now it's becoming more popular, do you feel like it's helping the trans community more? Or would you say it's kind of making more, like, do you know what I mean? Do you think it's helping, or do you think, like, would you say it's negative effect or positive effect, basically?
Okay. Well, my personal opinion is I'm really happy for her. and I think anything that raises the profile is a really good thing. So I wish I had the number of a plastic surgeon and I had the money. It would have been wonderful to have disappeared 1 month ago. 2 months later, looking
completely different.
looking frankly gorgeous. Yeah. So I'm really happy for it. I think it's only a positive thing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Well, for me, it's interesting because I had this conversation with a friend the other day, and he voiced to me that the issue with the Caitlyn transition was that she made too much noise transitioning. So
she did.
Well, this was the perception that this
What
person
kind
had.
of noise?
Like it was too much publicity. It was done on a public.
Because it's like Ruth's you transition to Caitlyn, like it's a huge thing. It's about the Kardashians.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why it's part of the Kardashian. Goodness gracious, anything to do with the Kardashians is gonna be loud. Like, yeah, that's probably why I was wondering, like, because I haven't really followed this one.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where my friend said to me, you know, it's done on to public forum, and what he would have, he's saying that, well, she herself is new to transitioning, so what can you provide to the community? What kind of sensible, can you answer these questions? Are you ready to answer those questions?
Yeah.
And I personally think, to answer the question, Zaina, it does help the community. Because what does it do for somebody who feels like they're the only person in the entire world that is trans, and then to turn on the TV and see a public figure on the TV? Like, it's the media will always take little strands of things. We can never know the true intention of why the story was put forward. We can never know, but does it matter? When it boils down to it, it doesn't matter. What it matters is that there are more and more representatives and faces, whether they do it voluntary or not. Sometimes we become involuntary spokespeople, and it's like being it's like having an event and they call you to be the black one, to speak for the black community. It's kind of like that. It's like an event happens and they call you to be, you know, because you're a trans person, because you're a trans woman, because you're a white trans woman, because you're from Scotland. I don't know where you're from. I'm just saying, like, it does. Wolverhampton. Like, because sometimes it can appear to be like, just because this person was trans, that's the only reason they're getting publicity. But when it boils down to it, when we keep it down to a basic level, I think it is a good thing to have this much media attention on the spotlight on trans people. I'm sure a lot of people have come out because of this. Probably even far more confident. Probably even thought about plastic surgery.
Any more questions, Zaina? Any more questions? Thank you very much, Zaina. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Bye.
See ya. Have a nice evening. Okay, so Mario.
A lot of partners and a lot of questions.
So many questions. I actually forgot what I was even gonna ask you. All right. So okay.
I think it was your first customer, wasn't it?
Your first customer.
Describe your first sale.
My first sale was expensive, very expensive.
Woo!
My first customer, I know. There were reviews. I was happy. I did I did that thing where I was rebellious. I think I was a little rebellious. I was overconfident, so I put up the product on sale before I had the product. And unfortunately, it took very long to go. And being that customer service is on the top of my list, I said to this person, you know what? Product ain't here yet, but not to worry. Pick something from the side. And they chose that, so I had to get that in my pocket. I remember this is the first sale, so there is no money. Where is this coming from? So I sent it off. They were happy, but it still didn't arrive till like 2 months later, and I had to give it to them for free. So what started off as a $9.99 sale became a $50 sale or £50 sale.
Okay.
So, but I did. It was an exciting time because it was the first one, but it was expensive.
Yes. Did they come back to buy anything else?
Yes, and like, we communicate and we talk. Say it was good. It was good. It's just expensive.
How does it feel though, people buying from PureGender?
You know, as a founder, you don't think about it. As a founder, because you're so focused on the vision, right? What you see now isn't the entire picture. Like even this will get better. It will become more grander. You know, we'll probably have 3D soon, or we'll like throw balloons and the viewers will be like trying to dodge it.
Wow.
You know? So it's only gonna grow and expand. So being a founder, it's like the entire map isn't always there for people to understand and see. So I don't often think, you know, so when people do contact me and they're like, oh wow, I just bought this product, it was really good. It warms my heart and it reminds me to keep going, because sometimes it can get tough, it can get rough. And especially when you're pioneering and paving the path yourself, it's like you turn up in this entire bushland, and then now you got this little bead whacker that you gotta go through the tall bushes through, and that's what it's kind of like for me. So it does warm my heart, it does make me feel good, and it does give me the strength to carry on, to answer the question.
Perfect.
Okay. And I mean, what kind of things spark your creativity?
Things like these. Things like balloons, being spontaneous, being in different environments, having people around me. Like I'm an ideas person, so I definitely sometimes need somebody to grab a color, because I can run really fast.
Very enthusiastic.
Yes, very enthusiastic, very optimistic. It is a good thing, but you know, balance is also important. Everything in moderation. So this is why I'm grateful for having a mentor now, because he's allowed me to really focus on my friends and my family. Like, they're very supportive as well, and they help me to stay grounded. So whenever I do have an idea, I get challenged, and then it creates more creativity, and it just keeps it going and keep the juices flowing. As well as activity, like working out.
And you come out at the end, finally home to the diamond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We went to work out the other day, didn't we?
Yesterday, in fact, actually, my body's killing me.
And you get some creativity. You should come by.
No.
Yes.
She does not want to go.
We should take
No.
you.
I should be at toast.
Drinking is not an activity for anybody that wants to know.
For the job, yeah.
Any more questions for me?
I need to go.
Yeah, well, describe your ideal office space.
You know, I'm very, very inspired by how Google runs their spaces, actually. And I think anything that resembles a child's playhouse would be my ideal office space. So loads of slides. Instead of taking the stairs, you can slide down. And it just, like stuff that would have a sand pit probably as well.
So places where people could take some downtime.
Random people throwing balloons, like, you know, that would be good.
Balloons. Yeah. So balloons, ball pits.
Exactly.
Pool tables.
Pool tables, things like that. Wow, no, just for you, just for you, just for you. You're not drinking, just for you.
I'll be over in the corner getting drunk. Coming up with all the ideas.
I know, so definitely things like this. I like, you know, I want to encourage playfulness. This is what makes people feel good about themselves. What makes people want to get involved and do things and get ideas. It's really good. Oh, look at that! It's like Michael Jordan. No. Okay. So basically, we're getting eyes at the back. Right. So I mean, basically, we're talking about making the office feel as friendly a place as possible, where you can take time out just to recharge your battery, so it doesn't feel so much like a hard slog from 9 to 5. However what makes you work. Exactly.
But yes, that sounds like my ideal kind of work.
There you go.
Replying right now.
By the way, with a full take.
Yeah. How do you spark your creativity? Because you're a very creative person, like you can't just, you could be creative. How did you spark it? Like, seriously?
Just like highly into hiding. That's me like I just literally just do things in different spaces and work out, and that just gets the juices flowing, and I get creative about it.
Okay. So, I mean, can you teach me something that I don't already know?
Lord bless it. Can you whistle? Okay, can you whistle? That's so lame. I don't know. I did just teach you how to be crazy, but they all seem to have that locked already.
Oh no!
You be as crazy as you want. I'll just think about that one. But yeah.
Yeah. No special tricks. You can't make your ears move or anything like that.
No, I know I have this funny mouth thing, like when I'm doing things like my jaw cramp up, or like when my mouth just twists. And I remember I was doing a video for Body Update, and someone said to me, "What's up with your mouth?" I said, "Well, what happens is sometimes I'm doing things. There's music, there's a club going on in my head, and then my mouth decides to dance." So that's what I do. That's what I say. So I guess I don't know. I don't know what to do. Next question.
Okay. We know you like to improvise raps. If we give you a beat, can you rap something for us, Romario?
What beat? Where's the beat?
Oh, we're gonna do one.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
My lips are a bit dry right now. I was gonna do it, but you know.
You're gonna give me a beat? Oh yeah. Is this for real? I can't believe this. Are you doing a beat? Okay. Alright. Easy, don't call me down. Alright, ready. Now hold my mic, yeah? My mic. Okay. Alright, 1, 2. Okay. Hey people, thanks for tuning in. This is PGWarriors.TV. We got the Warriors. We got freestyle.
It was so freestyle and so great. Thank you everybody for tuning into Pure Gender.
Warriors TV.
Make sure you hashtag that as well.
Our other beautiful
Are we doing this?
co-presenter. Hopefully we'll see more of them. As well. Just clapping away. Thank you to Zaina who called in. Thanks to our other 2 anonymous callers. I didn't get their names, so thank you so much for calling in. I want to bring on Stefan Zakaya. I want to bring on Rona D. Rose.
Yeah, I called him the other day. Shake your face.
It's been great. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody. Oh my! Oh my God! Sing rock
In the CA.
You know the song, like what?
I've heard the song.
Okay,
Keep it rocking.
Thank you so much. All right, goodbye. See you. Okay, see you soon.